I just came across this clip of Jack Antonoff talking about the importance of making full-length albums. Check it out.
It's almost stunning that we still believe some of the myths.
Which myths are you talking about?
Album isn't God. Album is God, period. Always has been. There's no brilliant artist that's existed for a real period of time and changed things and has a real audience that isn't based on albums. They don't exist.
He thinks like I do, that in today's music landscape, which is dominated by quick hits, singles, and viral videos, it's even more important for artists to put out cohesive, full-length bodies of work. Think about your favorite records. The singles you may come to the record for, you hear them on the radio, you hear them on Spotify, or they're suggested to you however you arrive at them, but then you get the full-length record, and then you start realizing, you know what? These album tracks are really the songs that are the best ones on the record. You've all had that experience. It's so common to come to a record based on a single and then realize, oh, that's not even close to being the best song on here. I remember reading an article with Rick Rubin where he says that an album offers a sense of cohesion, where you need the multiple or group of songs that explore a thread or a concept or a mood that lets the artist's voice really resonate. Another way of looking at it is that by weaving songs together under a unifying theme or sound, an album becomes more than just a collection of tracks. Think of albums like Zeppelin 4 or Dark Side of the Moon by Pink Floyd or Boston's first album or Back in Black by AC/DC or The Chronic by Dr. Dre or the Marshall Mathers LP by Eminem. These aren't just a collection of songs. They create a cohesive listening experience from beginning to end that can't be divorced from itself. If you listen to a single, you might listen to it, you might put it in a playlist, but after it's over in 3 minutes, you may just move on to something else. But if you can engage your audience into a 30 or 60-minute experience, these are the things that develop that emotional connection between you and the audience. That's going to get people to come out to your shows. That's going to get you your 1,000 super fans. They're going to help fund all of your projects. It's incredibly important for that. Historically, music's been dominated by the album format. If you think about iconic records like Fleetwood Mac Rumours or the Beatles' Sgt. Pepper or Michael Jackson's Thriller, these weren't just collections of hits, they were cultural touchstones that defined eras. Quincy Jones once said, when you talk about those albums, you're talking about milestones that changed the game. It's not just one hit song, it's the entire journey that becomes legendary. Albums carry a weight and significance, good ones at least, that can shape an artist's legacy way more than a string of standalone singles ever could. When an artist releases a full-length album, it's not just about the music, it's about creating a whole world around that record. The artwork, the music videos, the stage production, the merch, the interviews associated with it, all tie back to a central theme or identity. This era approach builds an ongoing dialogue with fans, which sparks excitement and anticipation that can last for months or years. Album tracks are a place where artists can be even more experimental. If you think about the Beatles' Revolver album, the last track on there, Tomorrow Never Knows, which is a psychedelic masterpiece by John Lennon, is really a complete departure from anything the Beatles had done before. This showed the Beatles fans the band's willingness to push boundaries. This is a kind of freedom that the Beatles felt their audience was accepting of and helped the band continue to innovate. In the streaming era, many people worry, or should I say, understand that attention spans are shrinking. I think you've heard me mention that a couple times. But ironically, a well-sequenced album can actually thrive on streaming platforms. Listeners who love your music will binge the entire record and revisit their favorite tracks again and again. Jimmy Iovine, co-founder of Interscope, suggested in a BBC interview that a single is a quick fix, but an album can keep people coming back. You give listeners more reasons to connect, more themes, more lyrics that resonate, and more layers to unpack. The best albums become evergreen, discovering new audiences over time, fueled by word of mouth and playlist features. Finally, from a career standpoint, albums function as milestones that mark an artist's evolution. This is how fans track your growth through phases or eras that each album represents. Jack Antonoff put it like this: years down the line, people might talk about your first album or your breakout album or your experimental album. Those chapters define you as an artist in ways that a playlist of singles can't. Over time, that discography becomes the backbone of an artist's legacy, giving fans a roadmap through their creative journey. All the things I talked about in this video honestly go for any genre of music. For people making fusion records, progressive metal records, rock records, pop records, hip-hop records, you should make full-length albums and not just focus on one song or two or even an EP. Write enough songs so that you have enough songs to pick from to make a cohesive album. Love to know your thoughts. Leave a comment. Hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.